Good day, happy people. Hope you are well today. Again, here in the UK, in sunny Hertfordshire, the sun is shining. It's a bit cooler, but it's still a lovely day, and really grateful for the fact that we have another good day of good weather. So today I wanted to talk about just being really mindful of how we spread information. Now, last night when I was planning this video, I told a couple of my friends I was going to go in. I was going to use a lot of metaphors about animals like silly goats and all that kind of stuff for people who are spreading these rumors. But a couple of friends told me, look, be really mindful, David. At this point in time, we still need to be kind. So rein in your sarcasm. And if you want to use it, just use it between us and the small groups. If you're going to put this out as a public message on your platform, be very mindful. So today I'm going to do that. I'm still going to share the message, but I'm going to be very kind about how I deliver this. And I also want to say why I think it's important, even though a couple of friends said, Dave, there's no point even telling people about this because people are going to believe what they want. I'm doing this primarily because there have been a number of individuals in my network who have reached out to me and said that they are having real issues around anxiety because they don't know what to believe or where to get the kind of information. So, first and foremost, I will say that we do have resources online, such as John Hopkins, which is doing a real good mapping of how this virus is spreading and what people are doing around it. The government sites can actually also help people around payments, and the NHS and other sites can tell you about how we can manage in this time. And I would always say that in those circumstances, it would be better for you to be able to go to those more reputable sites. Even if you don't fully believe in the government or the NHS, I think it's really good to be able to go to those more reputable sites to get that bit of information and data that you need. But while we are here, what I thought I would do, I've written down in my book about 6 different kind of rumors that I've heard from individuals that have even come across my timeline, which is one of the reasons I didn't want to be on WhatsApp. I'm only there because I'm reaching out to a couple of relatives because one of our relatives is not well, and that's one of the ways of keeping informed. But I realized coming back there, this is one of the reasons I left WhatsApp in the first place, because you always get these really bogus, crappy memes and videos and voice notes from the government that just happen to end up in somebody else's property, or on their timeline. But that aside, I just wanted to kind of like share some of the stuff and give my opinion on it. It may not be right, may not be wrong, but I just wanted to give my opinion and share how I am helping individuals who are getting really stressed out and anxious from some of that misinformation. So let's go with the first one. The first one I've heard is that this is like the flu. And the COVID-19 is not like the flu. Let's get that straight, okay? It's very different. The flu and the way that the flu is as being treated is different. If we think of H1N1, which caused the 1918 panic, and also the recent flu that hit particularly in Southeast Asia, we think of MERS, the one that hit in the Middle East, the West Nile flu. All these things are flu, literally flu, and you have very different symptoms to what this actual virus is. So when you're hearing of people saying, right, I was out there taking my vitamin C, or I'm washing my hands and my surfaces and my nose with salt water, or I'm eating more oranges, or all these other things that are related to the flu, it's very important to go and be happy for people who are going to do that. But for those who will take it as a kind of like be all and an automatic remedy for this kind of stuff, it's not, because it's very different. I'm not in any way a person that is medically trained, but one of the things I will say is that looking at the individuals who are, they make a clear distinction between this not being the flu and COVID-19 being something totally different. So when I hear of all these things around flu vaccines and it's a flu epidemic and we need to behave the same way, no, go and follow the advice that's out there. It's very different. In fact, it's even more contagious than some of the flus epidemics that we've had from before. The way that this has spread has been even quicker. So I would say go on and look at the information. It's not flu-like. So yes, no one's saying that you shouldn't take vitamin C and your minerals and your echinacea and your turmeric and all those other things that build up your immunity system. No one's saying you shouldn't do that. But don't think that just because you've taken that all of a sudden you are immune and you have the automatic kind of remedy, natural remedy to do that. So that's the first one. It's not flu. Second one, which I find incredibly hilarious, is that it was created by the Illuminati. The third one I've heard is that 5G has caused 5G networks has caused virus. Now, let's get this clear again. When we look at the individuals who study this stuff, there are individuals who've been studying coronaviruses in animal species for many years. What they have said is that there is a possibility, either from the pangolin or the bat species, that the virus has jumped from those animal species into human. Sometimes it could have been because of the diet or the wet markets where people buy that in Southeast Asia and certain parts of Africa as well. People will eat what they term kind of like bushmeat, which will be a lot of animals that in the main a lot of people may not necessarily know about. But those things like the pangolin and the bat, they can carry those coronaviruses, and it's been proven by a lot of the tests that they have been doing in those countries that the genome structure of this virus means that it jumped from an animal into the human species, which is one of the reasons why we haven't actually got a cure for it yet, because it's new, it's novel. Saying that it's down to 5G masts being set up. Okay, all right, well, yeah, let's just park that for now. Let's go to number 4. Number 4 was that it's a world government conspiracy. And there are people who would obviously espouse things like eugenics. And obviously, we've had people in various governments who would be okay with a lot of older people or people with weaker immune systems being wiped out of the system. I'm not going to make that assumption because I don't have the data to back it up. But if it is a world conspiracy, I'm quite curious as to why countries would really want to bring their economies to their knees. And in some instances, a number of world leaders have been able to contract it as well. So who would be colluding to do that? Am I saying that it doesn't exist? No, I'm not saying that it doesn't exist. But if it's a conspiracy, I always say the onus is on the individual who raises that point to be able to prove it. You can't just assume it. You've got to be able to prove it. And when you're sending this information out to people who are really anxious, of course they will go out on one. And rather than just being able to try and look after themselves, we're raising anxiety, we're raising stress. And when we're already living in these really close spaces, it's important that we are really careful of the information that we spread. I'm going to say it's the 5th one now. Relates to this appearing in books. So I think the author Dean Kunitz wrote a book a number of years about the Wuhan virus or something like that. Go and read the book and you'll see it's very different to what's actually happening with this specific COVID-19 condition. There's also that woman who wrote the psychic book, I think in 2008, saying that there was going to be this pneumonia type pandemic. Now, you can get pneumonia from COVID-19, but not all the symptoms actually lead to pneumonia. Not everybody gets that. It can affect some people. So when you have a look at that and people are getting excited, and I think it was Kim Kardashian or some other kind of celebrity who spread that rumor. Here's the thing, go and read the details and go and find out exactly what the virus does, which there's so much information out there that you can actually look at. And when you read the information, you realize that doesn't actually link up. So having people say that this woman predicted it, and let me be clear, the woman who predicted it in this so-called book made a lot of predictions wrong. So if you're only going to take one out of there, well, okay, and anybody who writes end of days books with that evidence, yeah, okay, I'm really happy for you. And the last one that I've heard was that it was created in a lab, okay, and it was intentionally done in a lab. Now, there are so many virologists, epidemiologists, and so many people who work as experts in this place who said, look, with the genome sequence in this is beyond human creation. This is just a left field. This is actually existing within the animal kingdom. Humans couldn't create that. And my thing is if you're going to say that it was, the onus of proof is on you. And so again, I've just highlighted about 6 really random ones that I've had from younger people, from older people, from people who've been sending these kind of videos, text, voice notes, and all this kind of stuff through WhatsApp and various platforms. All I'm saying is that at the end of the day, people can believe what they want. They can believe that if you go and rinse and have a shower in bat piss, that you're going to be okay afterwards. You can believe what you want. My thing is, look, there are lots of people who are suffering from anxiety, who are already stressed out. There's a lot of stuff that's going to be that we have to worry about, especially around mental health, going through this time of unsurety and uncertainty. I think we need to take an onus of responsibility and make sure that we are not passing that information on, especially if it's wrong information. I'm happy for you if you want to believe that conspiracy theory and you want to sit in it, but think about the impact of if you're sending that out to somebody else without a sense of context and you're frightening people and making them anxious, the knock-on effect is that, look, especially in closed spaces, that can be quite damaging. So be careful, be human, be kind, go and read your data, go and read the facts, make sure that you kind of like go to as many kind of resources. Obviously, we're all going to make our own conclusions and a lot of us are scared, but be very, very careful in the way that we pass this information on, okay? Be kind, enjoy your day, and see you tomorrow.